Start recording. Can you please tell me what it looks like on YouTube?
Just a second.
Thank you.
YouTube testing.
That's what it says it does.
Live now, yeah.
I can't take it. Help me, Jesus. Let's see. Okay, let me see if I can't. I got a new stream key in there. So just 1 second. Let's see. This one needs to go to private. Okay. Tell me now. What's happening?
Oh. Testing.
I love it. So much fun with me being...
Let me click on this just to see if there's anything different. Oh, stop telling me that. Jury and exit light discuss the most horrific crimes ever committed on Christmas.
Okay. Let's see. To me, it says that doesn't exist. Let's try again. Let's see what else it could be. Yep. It is road trip to New England. Let me edit it. And then it says it's processing the video, so it is public. Might take a few minutes for it to process correctly. And how long has it been going on?
It said started streaming 2 minutes ago.
It does?
Yeah.
Because mine still has the 5 hours thing. Just 1 second, Rob. Just 1 second. YouTube now. Let's see. Because it says
It says watch live now, exit light
Christmas murders. We're gonna have to change that title. Yeah, mine says it's got the whole 5 hours that we had on the other day, but yours doesn't?
No. I'll just reset it again.
Okay.
Sorry, Chase, you said, just a sec.
Yep, I got the new one up, so let me...
So we just go with you and just...
I got the new one that's going up right now, and I'm going to try this again. Just 1 second. And hello, for anybody who happens to be here, which I don't think they are because I think it's on private still, so I think it's just you and me, Rob. Okay, just 1 minute, Rob. I'm going to edit the thumbnail. It's still recording though, so this will be on there. So don't call me a smart ass again, 'cause everybody's gonna hear it. Um, okay. And then I guess this will just change to whatever it changes to. I can go in and edit it afterwards if I need to. And I'll do that. We can change the name then if I have to. And let's get this going public. What do you think? All right. Looks to me like we are public. So, let's do this. Hello and welcome. I'm Exelite and this is my podcast. Cross your fingers, cross your toes, blow a wish on your eyelash, and hope this works out. This is our first live podcast, hopefully, in about a year.
Yep.
And it's all on me, so. And for those of you that don't know, we did this a few days ago, and I left the podcast going for 5 whole hours. So you guys got, for those of you who listened, it was 21 people according to my count. You guys got to listen to a whole array of things in my house. You were taught how to make a soulless mask. Not soulless mask, by the way. Sew. A mask you don't have to sew. You got to listen to me and my daughter Madison talk about birthing, some of my health problems. There was a Robb and I spoke about things. There was a whole bunch of interesting conversations. For those of you who missed it, thank God. And thank you, by the way, to Brian from Diabolical Witness, who apparently tried to call me on Skype and then instead put messages on my videos screaming, "Stop talking. Stop talking. You are being recorded." And like as though there was a fire. Thank you for that, Brian. So anyway, here we are. And what are we doing today, Rob? Since we're all closed up in our houses, unable to leave except for essentials, guess who we have? We have a captive audience, Rob. They can't even go out of the house.
Can't get away. We've got you.
They can't go away. This is my dream. This is my dream podcast. So, what are we talking about today, Rob? Do you know, even?
We're talking about places we'd like to visit in New England.
Yes, basically.
Haunted places.
This is our fundraiser.
Places that are frequented by ghosts and demons and monsters and werewolves and anything else you might like to bump into on a cold, dark night in New England.
And hopefully us. And, when we can leave the house. And is there any better way to listen to me make a fool out of myself? No. Rob and I will have a lot of fun. Rob will be intelligent and funny and witty, and I will and good looking, yes. And I will say stupid things. So, Rob, I have a list of places to go that are lesser known haunted places. I have, like actual haunted places. I also have my obsession with my coronavirus updates in case we ever need one of those during this. You never know. You never know. And I'm ready to talk about where we want to go on our trip if you're ready to talk about it.
I'm ready, yeah.
Okay, first thing that's a little unknown. Everybody knows about the Winchester Mansion, right?
Yeah, but, big buts.
Yes. And I cannot lie. Those other brothers can't deny. I like big butts and I cannot lie. Do you not know that song?
No, apparently not.
Are you kidding me right now?
No,
You don't know that song.
no, I'm English.
Oh, wow. Well, after we're done with this, you need to go look that up because you're going to like it.
Okay. You were talking about the lesser known places,
Yes, sir.
but there's one we've got to mention.
Okay. Well, we're going to do a lot of them. What is one that we have to mention, Rob?
Lizzie Borden.
I know. That is on every list of every must-see haunted place in the New England area. We have not only that, but I'd like to stay there, would you?
Very much so, yeah.
You know, if we could. By the way, people, this is a fundraiser. So if you want to donate money on my Exit Light page, if you are using a laptop or a
PC.
computer, yeah, PC, there is a link on there that goes to a PayPal link that um, YouTube was generous enough to give me. And if you guys want to donate that way, that is fine. You can also donate through the chat feature of this podcast. And if you want to do that, awesome. That'd be great too. Because we are going to go tour New England. And you know what, though, Rob? It would be kind of
Go on.
nice to take an RV.
Mm.
And then we could, if we went to, like, say, cemeteries, we could park outside and sleep there.
Yeah.
What do
But
you think?
I don't get the whole ghost cemetery thing because nobody dies in a cemetery.
Well, yeah, but their
It's like
body is there.
it's like a morgue. People think morgues are haunted. How many people have you ever read about or heard about that have actually died in a morgue?
Well, it'd be convenient, but I think it's because their body's there,
Mm.
their shell. Maybe they're attached to their shell for some reason.
Mm.
I don't
A
know.
shell, that's good.
Yeah. Um,
I know a
but
couple of ladies called Michelle. Just throw that in there.
well, thank you. Um, yeah, that's true. That's weird. Maybe they're not. Maybe they're not the ghosts of the people who live there. Maybe they're demons. People who
Mm.
live there. Yeah, I said that.
Yeah.
Um, the girl think they're living there. Anyway, um, I would like to stay in the Lizzie Borden house, have the whole Lizzie Borden experience.
Well, listen to this. If anybody hasn't heard or doesn't know about Lizzie Borden, which there must, I can't believe the people actually out there that don't.
Well, I can't believe there's somebody out there who doesn't know I like big butts and I cannot lie. I'm probably gonna get demonetized just for saying those lyrics now.
Yeah.
Whatever.
But Lizzie Borden, in 1892, her parents, Andrew and Abby Borden, were found brutally murdered in their home in Fall River, Massachusetts. Have I said that right? Massachusetts.
Yeah, Massachusetts.
Massachusetts.
Yeah.
The couple's youngest daughter, Lizzie, was accused of the violent crime and soon put on trial. But
Yes.
she basically got away with it. So sorry, I was waiting for you to say something then.
Oh.
She basically got away with it. I don't know how she got away with it, but she got away with it.
Money.
And Yeah, probably. Throughout its horrific past, visitors to the Lizzie Borden house have felt cold fingers tapping them on the shoulder, heard footsteps coming into empty rooms. A ghostly apparition of a woman in a Victoria era clothing has also been seen. And you can stay there. It's a bed and breakfast, and you can stay there and uncover the truth behind the tragic story. Ta-da!
Ta-da! That's what I want to do. I want because they scare you and they like have where the bodies were found, marked under the floor and everything. You need to take a picture of me laying on the floor where the mom was found. Is that macabre? Oh well, I'm
Yeah.
not gonna be the first person that's ever done that. That's a place we're gonna stop on our trip. Now, as I was saying, everybody knows about the Winchester House, right?
Yep.
But do you know that Sarah Winchester is not buried in California? She's buried in New Haven, Connecticut. And we can go visit her grave. That's interesting. That's really cool.
Yeah.
That would. By the way,
Yeah.
it says we have one person listening to us. Is that me or is that you? Huh?
You don't listen to anyone, so it's obviously me.
Uh, it's time for the insults to start. You guys think that I pick on Rob, which is ironic, really. Okay, how about this? Here's something I didn't know, and I'm going to do a story on it because it's really a new. I didn't know this. Did you know that in the 1800s, um, they thought there were vampires because that's what they thought tuberculosis was. They didn't know there was tuberculosis, the wasting away disease. They thought that you had been gotten by a vampire, and that's why you were wasting away. So, in 1854, the Ray family found themselves creating another chapter as they exhumed family members from their graves and then piled them up, burned them to ashes because they thought that this vampire disease was being passed even though the person died. They thought they were still a vampire. So they were still causing other family members to die. So they burned them
Mm.
and then put them back in their graves. Although they're all mixed up now. There's half of
Yeah.
Grandma, half of Uncle Joe, um, a foot of Betty, and then they put them back in their what's the word, hole.
Coffin.
Yeah.
Grave.
Grave. Thank you. And you can go visit the vampire cemetery.
Mm.
Isn't that?
But go on.
Ah, that's just the creepiest.
But
Really
did you
interesting.
know? I don't know. You probably know this fact
Probably.
that when they did believe that some people were some of the family members were vampires,
Hmm.
and they exhumed. Is that the word?
Yeah.
Exhumed the bodies. They looked as though they had fangs, and they looked as though the nails had carried on growing, and the hair had carried on growing. And so they thought that they were still alive in some kind of guise, whether it was undead. Basically, it was the skin shrinking, the nails didn't grow,
Oh.
and the teeth became more prominent because obviously the skin had shrunk away
Yeah.
and made them look like they had fangs. And
But
there
doesn't
was
your
a
hair
lot.
does your hair continue to grow? Because I've always heard that.
Well, I watched a documentary about it, um, and I think your hair does grow a little bit, but it shrinks as well. it shrinks from the scalp, so your hair will look like it's longer than it actually was when you were buried. Um, yeah, and the teeth, because it looks like your teeth are more prominent because your lips have shrunk away. While and they would exhume the body and think this person doesn't look like Uncle Joe. Looks like should be on buffet.
So that contributed to them thinking they were vampires.
So they used to cut, like you said, burn them or cut the heads off them and put the heads down where the feet were,
Oh, yeah.
and place a cross on the body, and then cover the inside of the coffin with holy water, so they couldn't get out.
Isn't that's, I think, that's fascinating. That's how they came up with the whole vampire thing here. Like, they were really afraid that they were vampires
Mm,
when it was
yeah,
tuberculosis. I'd never
yeah.
heard that before.
Mm.
So there you go. I learned something new every day. You got a place you want us to go, Rob?
Yes, I would. Have you heard of the USS Salem?
Yes.
It was built between 1945 and 1949, and although it never saw battle, it was instrumental during the Cold War. I would like to go and visit there. I know you like the ships, don't you?
I do. I do. And so why is it haunted?
The former Navy cruiser is now a museum ship, open to the public for tours and events. It has features on ghost hunters. The USS Salem is one of the world's most haunted ships. Almost everyone who has ever visited has had a paranormal experience. Apparently, apparitions have been spotted throughout the ship. The spirits of a woman in a birthing room have been seen. Sounds of women screaming,
Mm.
women screaming, "Get out! Get out!"
Mm.
Was recorded using EVP, electronic voice phenomena. Other ghosts roam the decks, banging violently, opening and shutting doors. Obviously, be steel iron doors as well, so it'd be a big.
Mm.
Oh, just spotted two words that would make you very happy. Halloween events.
Ooh. Yes. If
The
we can come
US.
out of our house by Halloween, that'd be
Oh yeah.
awesome to go there.
Mm,
Anywhere in New England during Halloween.
mm. Why do you think New England? That because obviously the size of the US,
Mm.
that small area
Mm.
has it's structured so much, um, so many ghost stories, and is it because that's one of the first places that the Europeans settled,
Yeah.
and they brought a lot over from Europe and from
Yeah.
the UK?
Oh yeah. Well, yeah, because they came and then they ran into Native Americans and proceeded to give them smallpox. You know, the Native Americans hadn't been exposed to the kind of diseases that Europeans had been exposed to, and they just brought them over, and what the ones they didn't kill with diseases, then it just went south after that. So I think the land, as we've talked about, I think that whole land is just soaked in the blood of many, many people.
Yeah.
And, because they didn't go west for a long time. Um, it was populated over there. So I think that's probably why.
Can you
I would love to live over there, but this is nothing against Massachusetts. but they have an extremely high rate of opioid deaths over there. Um, it's rampant, and so which makes me reconsider. Not that you can catch an opioid death, but I have a son that I wouldn't want to expose to that type of thing. Strange. Their bad juju just keeps on going.
Mm. But can you imagine being from Europe, being from the UK or England, and landing around what's called New Jersey now, or
Mm-hmm.
New York even, or Maine, and then going west, and then you hit like Lake Erie, is it? Um,
Mm-hmm.
a huge lake, and it'd be like looking at the sea.
Yeah, that'd be
And then,
confusing.
yeah, but then keep going west and 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 going west. It would seem like it would be, if coming from like Britain, it would seem like it was an endless country.
Yeah, it would. I hadn't thought about that till they finally hit another ocean.
Yeah.
Yeah, they traveled through Death Valley, which nobody wants to do. It's called Death Valley for a reason.
Where's Death Valley? Is it in Colorado?
California. Um,
Is it? I didn't know
um, it it's just the hottest. It's the hottest place. Might be one of the hottest places on Earth. And it's obviously desert. A lot of people, a lot of people died on their way over, going through Death Valley. Could have
that. Mm.
gone. I would have gone the Lewis and Clark way myself, but um, up towards the Pacific Northwest, skipped California. Because really, once you hit like Oklahoma, you know, Texas, and all the way over there, New Mexico, and all that stuff, it's just hot.
Mm.
I wouldn't have wanted to do that.
Yeah.
I would have gone up towards the Lewis and Clark way, which, as it turns out, is where I was. Hello, sing along. Hello. We have somebody who's chatting with us, Rob.
Oh, nice one.
Okay, the next place I'd like to go, and I'd never heard of before, is that on July 6, 1944, a Ringling Brother and Barnum and Bailey circus tent caught on fire. It killed 168 people in the tent. A memorial to this tragedy sits on the site of the tent's center post,
Mm.
and which is at the Fred D. Wish School at 350 Barber Street. Why would they put a school there? I don't know. That's weird. But they have like I said, a memorial at the tent's site. Um, that was something I've never heard about, and would be interested to go. Just kind of, I like to feel that kind of stuff.
Mm.
I'd like, I wouldn't. I don't like is not the appropriate phrase here. It would be interesting to me.
Yeah.
Um, let's see. Oh, have you ever heard of the movie Arsenic and Old Lace?
Never heard of it.
Okay. Um, well, first it was a play in 1940, and then it became a movie, and probably it was still, I think it was still black and white. Probably I don't know, late 40s, early 50s. I don't know. It was one of my mother's favorite old movies to watch, and it's about these little old ladies that run this little inn, and they kill people with arsenic, and their
Oh.
uncle figures out that they're doing it. They're not their uncle, their nephew. Okay, stop me from talking. Anyway, this house was the scene of that actual event where 60 people were killed by arsenic by these little old ladies who ran a home. Um, One of them was Amy Archer Gilligan, and I would just out of historical significance that I love this movie. would I think, by the way, could be on Amazon Prime. I'd really like to go see that house. The movie makes it like they're, just simple, lovely old ladies who happen to have this weird thing about them. Just a little quirk. And anyway, so I that's one of the places I would like to go on our trip. How about you? Next?
Mm. Um, this it doesn't sound very nice at all, but it's a rail. Look, I can't speak. A railroad tunnel built in the 1800s. The Hosack Tunnel, nicknamed the Bloody Pit. I probably said that wrong, and I apologise if I have. Hosack. Have you heard of that, Trace?
Yeah, I feel like it was brought up in something before. And I don't know if it was a story I did, or I mean, like, about something real that happened, but it sounds familiar.
I think, and obviously you'll be waiting for this. I think Ghost Adventures might have been there, and I'm not just
How long
saying
have we
that.
been doing this? How long has this been going on? This podcast? Anybody know? Because I mean, it took that long.
No, but I'm being serious. I'm not just saying that.
Oh, I know.
The dreaded structure took 25 years to build, during which more than 190 people were killed. Another
Hmm.
30 people were killed after the tunnel opened,
Oh.
and several tragedies have occurred inside the dark tunnel, including an explosion in a shaft that killed 13 miners. Legend has it that you can hear the cries of
Mm.
agony coming from inside the tunnel, and people have seen ghosts of miners and floating lanterns lighting up the darkness from within. Yes, it definitely has been either on Ghost Adventures or Ghost Hunters,
I think we
one of
talked
them
about it.
programs.
I think you and I
Yeah,
talked about it too.
yeah.
Oh, that's very sad.
Mm.
Um. Okay, we can go there. Here's one. Here's one. Center Church cannot store old pews in its basement because its basement is a cemetery. It's got all these creepy lights lighting these crypts and graves. Um, one that was open to the air back when New Haven Green itself was a cemetery. This whole place was a cemetery. The city razed the ground and removed the headstones everywhere except for underneath the church. The remains of, hold yourself, 10,000 people still lie beneath the green.
10,000?
10,000 at 311 Temple Street. I gotta see that. That, and to go to church every day above that. Mm, I don't
Maybe not.
know. I don't know. I don't know. That's. We'll see about that.
Yeah,
Um. All right. You got another one?
yeah, just a sec. Just trying to find my daughter.
Oh. Well, while you're doing that, I'll do this. Here's another weird one that we've never heard of. I've never heard of. In 1963, a B-52 training out of Westover Air Force Base crashed into Maine's Elephant Mountain. 7 of the 9 crewmen died. Do you know what they did with the airplane? They left it there. The wreckage lies where it landed as a public memorial. And then they just put up a stone monument in the airplane. It's right there. How bizarre. Why? that they didn't take the plane. Seems in 1963. I mean, that's like, quote unquote recent history. You would think that they would have taken it, put it back together, found out why it crashed. No, they left it there, where 7 out of the 9 people died. Although that plane that crashed, the plane that had Leonard Skinner in it, they left a shite ton of the plane there too. I just watched a YouTube video of people going out there with metal detectors. They found a beer can, unopened, with the old-fashioned pull tabs that had been on the plane with Leonard Skinner. Bud Light, to be exact. That is something I would definitely keep. I don't know why I went there. But anyway, if we want to go up to Elephant Mountain and see this, that would be a strange thing to feel. So there you go. Something I'd never heard of. You can also see the houses from Pet Sematary. You can see the houses that were used in, let me see real quick. The last house on the left, you can see a cemetery that was
joking.
used in that. No. You can see where parts of Friday the 13th Part 2 were filmed.
Crazy.
Yeah. You can see a collection at Yale University's Whitney Medical Library, which is full of brain specimens in jars. I'm going to pass on that. But I don't know about that. It'd be interesting to see the filming locations for some of these movies.
Definitely.
They have the place where they filmed Graveyard Shift.
Oh, I love that film.
Yeah, well, we could go see it if you want. We can stop our. We need to get an RV, and on the side just put like Extra Light Road Trip, and park it next to these places. But it's a totally different subject. When we were driving from Texas to Arizona, we pulled into a gas station, and there was an RV. It was more like a bus.
Yeah.
And it said the something something family YouTube channel, blah 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 blah, and it was these people who homeschool their kids, and they go and explore different places to homeschool them. We were in White Sands, New Mexico, where I think they used to do nuclear weapons testing. I held my breath the whole time. Uh, anyway, and so I looked them up on YouTube, which I thought was fun. That was pretty good advertisement. Because,
Yeah.
I mean, I was like, oh, look, let's look at them. Da, 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 da. So there you go, Rob. I'll maybe make a cardboard sign and we can duct tape it to the side of an RV. I mean, we're not going to have that much money. Depends on how much money people want to donate to us.
Yeah.
Or if somebody wants to donate a sign to go on the side of an RV that, says Exit Light Road Trip. Come by and say hi. Don't.
Yeah, definitely.
That would be weird. They could come by, they'd knock on our door of our RV, and we'd be like, both of us being introverts who don't like door knocking, we'd be like, you get it. No, you get it. Okay, anywhere else you want to see?
Yeah, this one looks interesting.
Okay.
Newton, Massachusetts.
Oh, Newtown.
It just says Newton. Newton, Newton.
I know, but they pronounce it Newtown, and it's where that incident happened with all those 6-year-olds at school.
Well, this is to do with a Victorian mansion.
Well, I'm just saying that Newtown is where that. Do you know what I'm talking about?
Yeah, I think so.
Where there was all the 6-year-olds in the first grade who that guy went in after he'd taken something from his mother's house and went into the school and, you know, massacre.
Right. Well, we'll leave that one out then.
I'm not going to Newtown.
No. What about Vermont?
Heck yeah, let's go to Vermont.
The haunted Vermont Bridge. One of these bridges that you see in the films where it's like a structure, and you drive through it.
Yeah.
And we don't have them over here.
They're called covered bridges.
Covered bridges. This one is some mysterious and conflicting reports shroud the story of Emily's death at the Goldbrook Covered Bridge in Stowe, Vermont. What isn't disputed is that years ago a girl named Emily lost her life at that site after a jilted heart drove her to suicide. A jilted heart drove her to suicide. There's nothing like a fall drive in Vermont, but avoided Emily's Bridge if you're taking the new road. Basically, it's telling you to stay clear of the covered bridge because it's haunted by this young lady who took her own life after being jilted by her boyfriend.
That's a very common story. I think every city probably has one like that.
Yeah, like an urban legend.
Yeah. Vermont. What do you know what they're famous for?
Is it an alcoholic drink?
No, it's maple syrup.
All right.
Mad
Okay.
Meerkat's on. Hello, Steve.
Hey, mate.
Sending love from Texas. I've missed seeing you around. Okay. Never seen a Bigfoot, a lake monster, a Mothman? That's because you've never been to this museum, Rob.
Which one's that?
It's the museum dedicated to the monsters we love and haven't seen. But they have, it's called the Bigfoot Forever Museum. But they have footprints and stuff of
Ooh.
cryptids that have been collected.
Ooh.
You would dig that.
I would like that very much.
Yes, you would. We have to go there, Rob. I think that's something that would be specifically Rob oriented. Do you know where else we can go? We can
No.
go to Stephen King's house.
Ooh. Would he mind?
No, I don't think so. Here's something cool because it looks exactly like a Stephen King house would look, like a New England witch house. That's what I call them, witch houses. Thank you, Mad Meerkat. He said, great to hear you both again. I figured it out. I figured this out. Hidden way deep down inside, I'm a certain kind of genius. I don't know what kind, but anyway, his house is covered in wrought iron spiders, three-headed dragons, and winged demons. I'm going. Do you know what a witch house? Do you know what I mean with the houses with the spires on top?
Yeah.
Yeah, like the walkway that goes around the top of the building where some poor girl probably watched her boyfriend go off to sea and then killed herself. You know those ones?
Yeah.
I
All
love
the
it.
nice memories.
Yeah, all that nice good stuff. It's exactly the type of house that Stephen King would live in. I bet inside it's pitch black and red. That's what it feels like Stephen King would live in. Anyway, let's go there, Rob. Let's go to Stephen King's house. Yes.
Okay.
Anywhere else you want to go?
Dancing on his grave in Maine. Maine? Do you say it that way? Maine?
Yeah, it's Maine.
Colonel Jonathan Buck, Uncle Buck, was one of
Uncle
the
Buck.
was one of the founders of Bucksport, Maine, called Buckstown back in the day. There are various alliterations of this New England ghost story, but the tale goes something like this. Are you ready, Tracy?
I don't know.
But the tale goes something like this. Buck became convinced that a young woman in town was was a was a witch.
Oh.
Some accounts, in brackets it says, some accounts say that she was his mistress,
Mm.
and he sentenced her to death.
Oh.
Her very last words to the colonel was a vicious curse. She swore that she would dance on his grave for all eternity.
Mm.
Buck died in 1795, and in 1852, his children memorialised his life with a monument near the site where he was buried.
Mm.
But that beautiful stone has been blemished. That no sanding or solvent can remove a small, dainty foot and leg-shaped stain down the side. The wronged woman remembers her promise and dances on Colonel Buck's grave to this very day.
Yes. I love that. That was like # me too back then. um, Sing Along says you guys should go to that guy's haunted museum in Las Vegas. And she says a ghost adventure guy. So who does she mean, Rob?
Zach.
Zach Bagans. Yes, my son went to the museum, but it was being built. Jory went to the museum, but it was being built. But he got to meet Zach Bagans. He's actually met him and worked with him. Um, but he sat outside the house, the museum, and talked to Jory for quite a while. And oh my gosh, that would be. We could do that, Rob. We could go to Las Vegas and go to Zach's museum. He's even got the stairs from the house that I can't remember the name of for some reason. You know, it was my very first podcast with Jory.
The Demon
The
House.
Demon House. Duh, Tracy, duh. He's got the stairs. He not only does he's got it all set up. It looks exactly like it did then, with the sand underneath it and everything. It's got the dirt under there and everything. There are some spots in that house that the people who take you on tour in the museum don't want to even go into. That's a whole lot of evil in one place. I take things home with me, so I don't know. Might have to send you in there, Rob.
I'll go in with Zach.
You're going with Zach. I know you will. I know you're completely straight, but I think that if Zach proposed to you, you might accept.
Yeah, probably.
Okay, Danvers State Hospital. This hospital opened in 1878, but by 1992 it was abandoned. In the 2000 horror film Session 9, they filmed in its rotting innards.
Oh, I love that film.
It's
I
so...
love that film.
You do? I've never heard of it before.
Oh, it's brilliant. It's really, really good. It's not really, really scary, like jump scares,
Oh, good.
but it's one of those films that will give you nightmares.
Oh, really?
I love that film.
Well, we could go see where it was filmed. In 2006, it was demolished for the condominiums, but the remnants of the old asylum remain, including the facade of the main building is still there. So it would still look like the movie. And the hospital cemetery is still there. The state hospital cemetery. So these are people who ranged from, you know, postpartum depression clear into psychosis and, you know, the whole range of things. Whatever their family wanted to put them in there for.
Yeah.
Okay, so you don't know this, I bet. You know who the Black Dahlia is?
Mm-hmm.
She was killed in California,
Mm-hmm.
but she was buried in her hometown with a plaque where her home once stood in Salem.
Oh, she was from Salem.
Actually, I think it's Salem Street in Medford. But you can go to the Black Dahlia's burial site and it tells you a story about it and everything. That would be interesting. That's sad.
Has every state and every city in America got a Salem Street or a Salem Road or a Salem Avenue or whatever?
No.
But it seems like they do.
Really? We have every state, every city probably has a Main Street. Every city probably has a Martin Luther King Street. Um, let me see, what else? I don't know. I've never known another state or city that I've ever been into that had a Salem. Always a Main Street though, and always a
Oh,
Martin
okay.
Luther King. Those are very common. Um, but that would be interesting to go see the Black Dahlia Memorial.
Hmm.
That's a sad story.
Yeah.
How about this? The prison ruins in Rutland. The
Mm.
graffitied ruins of a 110-year-old prison camp near Rutland State Park include a cave-like vegetable cellar built into a hill, the remains of the solitary confinement cells, and the prison graveyard. See, this is what I'm talking about. We need to take an RV and we can go spend the night out there. How about that place, the
Mm.
Devil's Circle? Is that what's the Devil's Stomping Ground?
Mm.
I did that story on where you nothing grows in the middle, and if you put something in the middle, by the time at night, by the time the morning comes, it's out of the circle and on the side.
Yeah.
We could, stay there in an RV and we could see what
Mm.
little kind of a nymph or a fairy takes out whatever we put in the middle. When I catch me a fairy.
Sorry, I'm being childish.
I'm so am I. I want a fairy. So the tooth fairy to be exact.
A
Oh,
nymph.
nymph, whatever. We can go to the grave of the Boston Strangler.
Oh dear me.
In the 1960s, while serving time for serial of an assault of a certain kind that I can't mention, Albert DeSalvo confessed to a series of murders attributed to the Boston Strangler. He was stabbed to death before the mystery could be resolved in prison, by the way. But they have at Puritan Lawn Memorial Park, they have his where he was buried.
Mm.
Let's go. We're never
Yeah.
gonna go like more than 5 miles before we have to stop at everything. All
Well,
right.
I've got this little. I haven't got any more places. I'll
Okay.
be honest with you, but I found this, um, and it's just a little section. It says hunt your own New England ghost stories. Whether you're a bona fide ghost hunter, a general thrill seeker, or anyone in between, New England is a place to go for spooky experiences. Stay for nights and explore the many haunted inns, forests, graveyards, taverns, and maybe you'll experience a New England ghost story of your very own. And I think that sums it up. That's what we want to do, innit?
Yes, it is. I got a few more places. Well, first off, the Bridgewater Triangle.
Oh,
I mean, that's why we're going. In general, we want to go see the Bridgewater Triangle, right? Because if we go to the Bridgewater Triangle, we're going to experience ghosts, cryptids, UFOs,
UFOs,
lights.
cameras, action.
Yeah. I want to go to that cliff that says makes people want to jump off. I don't want to do that because I
You'll
have that.
jump off
I
you.
will jump off. Yes. See, I know myself well enough to know this. Um, but maybe we can watch other people stand there. I'm not going to let you go stand there either because you'll be with me, so perhaps you'll want to jump off too. Um, But I would like
They
to go.
called your name then.
I would like to go to that rock, the Anawan Rock. I'd like to go there and just be there at night. This is stuff that would actually scare me, which I would not mind getting a little bit scared. To be there alone in the night in the forest, we talked about this. That would actually scare me. And the swamp where all that war went on, American Indian War, that
Yeah.
would be
Oh
scary to
yeah.
me. And who knows, we might see a cryptid while we're there.
Mm.
You might get to videotape me screaming and running away. Okay, so here's a weird one. In 1875, Josie was 17 years old. She was on her way to school when she was murdered by a woodcutter. Her strange monument memorializes her life by directing visitors to go visit the exact spot where they found her body and then the exact spot where they found her severed head. It gives you the directions on her monument.
Some strange people in the world.
There is very strange people in this. In 1875, they were like, we could make some money off of this.
Yeah, but we're the daft buggers who'd go.
I'm going. I'm going. But it's really weird because it says head found 82, and then it says some weird, 82 rods north at Stone Hub. I don't know what a rod is. How long is a rod? I don't know. I'd have to figure it out, but I'm still going.
Dear.
Can you? I don't know what I'm going to do with you. By the way, you missed something. How about where Betty and Barney Hill were abducted?
Oh. Oh, I'd like to go there.
We're going to go there. I'm not getting out of the car, out of the RV. Weren't they in an RV? They were in a van. What were they in? No,
They
they
were
were
in
in
a
an
car.
RV.
Hey?
Weren't they in an RV when they were
No,
taken?
no, no, no. They were in a car because they had a passenger in the back seat.
They did.
Who basically nothing happened to.
Oh. Oh, why did I think they were in an RV for some reason?
Oh. Maybe the
I'm
aliens were.
I'm
A
going
flying
it.
one.
I'm going. Let's go. Also, guess what else? The birthplace of H. Holmes.
Oh, such a lovely man.
He wasn't he, the best
Misunderstood.
doctor? He was so misunderstood. He was only trying to be a doctor. He's trying to help people with ailments.
Yeah.
Yeah. So he became infamous, of course, for his murder castle in Chicago. You know what's wrong, Rob? I thought that was in England. I didn't know it was in Chicago. That that hotel that he, whatever you want to call that. Did you know it was in Chicago?
Yeah.
Oh.
Watched this documentary about it.
So we can go to his birth site. It's actually for sale. We should buy it. I don't know. But when we talk about nature versus nurture, I'm thinking this guy was nature.
Hmm.
So let's go by his house. Let's camp outside of it at the very least. Who's going to buy the birthplace of H. Holmes? Well, people like us. People like me. I would buy it and then open it up as a museum. He was like the Dr. Drew of 1870. Yeah. Well, yeah, if Dr. Drew had hidden rooms to, torture people, which is fine. Whatever. Let's see. Oh, how about this? Aleister Crowley's retirement home, which is a house he
What?
bought to retire in. I don't mean
Oh, I
like.
don't know about
Okay, in 1916, occultist and sensationalist Aleister Crowley spent a few months holed up in the cabin of a medium named Evangeline Adams. I really love the name Evangeline. In Hebron, engaged in what he called magical retirement. And I don't even, whatever. But let's go see Crowley's retirement home. Home he retired in. That's got to have a weird, weird feeling.
Yeah, we don't like Aleister Crowley, do we?
Ooh. Sing Along says, ooh, you could go to the spot in Nevada where he supposedly opened a demonic portal. Mad Meerkat says, Aleister Crowley, one strange guy. That might be the understatement of the century, yes. He's a strange guy. Yeah, you and I tried to do a podcast about Aleister Crowley,
Right?
and
You
it
couldn't
kept
do
going
it.
south. Yep, we never did it.
No.
Yeah,
Couldn't do it.
we couldn't do it. And then there's the grave of the vampire's clasp in Smithville. That's where they say the Roswell aliens came from. Oh, really? From Aleister Crowley's portal? Oh, interesting. I'm gonna have to look that part up. Simon Whipple's gravestone is put past the edge of the forest that lines the Union Cemetery and has an epitaph that is both poetic and ominous. Some of it is lost to time, but it reads, although consumption's vampire's grasp had seized thy mortal frame. Oh, put that on my headstone. Has seized thy mortal frame. People will be like, WTF? That would be weird. She said one group thinks that anyway. That's Aleister Crowley is a whole separate kind of evil incarnate.
Yeah.
Let's see. Oh, you can go to Brown's University and see books that are bound with human skin.
No.
I think. No. There's the grave of Mercy Brown, where she was 19 years old. She was exhumed and destroyed because her family thought she was a vampire. But it gets weirder than that. They burned her heart. She must not have been dead very long. They burned her heart and then they drank her ashes. Who's the vampire here now? That's how you're gonna deal with a vampire? Oh gosh. No, thank you. There was, did you guys have that TV show about people who had strange addictions?
Oh, we've had loads of programs like that over the years. Yeah, there's some weird people out there.
Well, it's called pica. Most of it is called pica, and it's because you're anemic. Like, for instance, I have pica because I'm badly, badly anemic. And so I crave things like, well, you can crave things like dirt or wood, you know, ice. I eat, I don't even know, 64 ounces of ice every day. But I crave dirt, but I don't eat dirt. I eat things like radishes because they taste quote unquote like dirt. But the point of the story is, in the South, it was very, very, very common during pregnancies that they would feed women clay because they were very poor and they would be anemic. So eating clay would be part of how they would treat pregnancy because your body like it says I need a metal, but I'm not quite sure which one, so it sends you to weird things. The point of the story is there was a woman on that show who was addicted to eating her husband's ashes.
I think I might have seen it.
I think that's less pica and more psychological.
Mm.
Like,
She was I think she may have been a larger lady, if I remember rightly.
I can't remember, but I think that was just plain sadness.
I think there must have been a lot of calories in ashes.
Oh, Rob. What? 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 That was so rude. We can go see the grave with a window in New Haven. Dr. Timothy
Hey,
Smith. Dr. Timothy Smith was a doctor, and he saw so many deaths being misdiagnosed. Which, by the way, the term graveyard shift comes because they used to have people stand outside the graveyards, and they would bury people with bells. So when somebody
bells.
says, "That rings a bell," that's what it's referring to.
Yeah,
Is the bells in the graves. So where people had worked the graveyard shift, they would stand outside the graveyard and listen for the bells to ring. Anyway, he saw so many people misdiagnosed with death that he was afraid that it would happen to him. So he had a window installed in his grave so that people could make sure that he was dead after he was buried. So you can still look in and see his corpse. So I'm gonna go do that. They have in the Champlain Lakefront, they have terrifying metal flying monkeys dotting the roofs of the homes that were there. They were the original mascots for the Wizard of Oz themed waterbed store in the 1970s. They had a Wizard of Oz themed waterbed store. That in itself seems weird. I don't know if I want to see flying monkeys or not. You can go see where Ted Bundy was born. It's a bland office building, but it's where he was born. And you can go to Beetlejuice.
hmm.
So let's do that. Anyway, there's a lot of stuff we can go do,
Yeah,
and I'm ready to go. Are you ready to go?
yeah. Well,
Just,
when the COVID finishes, and
when we can leave the house.
yeah.
Can't really leave the house right now. Maybe that's why I'm ready to go. Just about ready to go anywhere. Um, so anyway, you guys, um, if you would like to donate to Rob and I's travel fund, like I said, it is on my main page if you have a laptop or a PC. If not, I have been putting the link to our travel fund on my stories. Most of my content is not monetized because YouTube finds me to be not nice enough to be monetized by Coca-Cola and stuff like that. So, um, so when most people, get paid a little bit from YouTube, I'm not really one of those people. I, whatever. But if you guys ever want to contribute to my channel at all, and Mad Meerkat does, thank you, Mad Meerkat. I appreciate that. And you can do that through this PayPal link now that YouTube has made it a lot easier to do that. And also, when we're on chats, there's a little button that has a little dollar sign, and you can donate through that. And we're going to start doing live podcasts now, right, Rob?
That's it. Back in the swing of things.
Yes. And then as I learn more about how to do this, we can put pictures up again like Jeremy used to
Mm.
back in the day. So I want to thank everybody for coming here today and putting up with us trying to figure this out. And for those of you who checked in and out of my 5-hour podcast the other day, you learned a lot about the Exit Light family that you probably never needed to know. But thank you for coming. Thank you for commenting. I love it.
Yeah.
And Mad Meerkat says, to hell with videos of cats and flowers. Give us ghosts, ghosts, ghosts. I'm doing my best. And if you haven't read my recent two-part coverage of the Laredo serial killer who turned out to be a very unexpected and horrifying character, please go listen to that two-parter because it's very interesting. And I think that you guys will find that exceptional. Anyway, Rob, thank you for doing this with me.
Not a problem, Tracy.
And thank you guys for coming. And if you are listening to this afterwards and you are not subscribed and you would like to be, please go ahead and do so. Share my videos with people you know and love and even people you can't stand. We're all inside stuck together, so you have a captive audience. Go ahead and forward those videos. If you'd like to be subscribed, that would be awesome. I'd appreciate that. If you would give this video a thumbs up, that is very helpful to my channel and it helps me to be recommended on other channels. So that would be great. And is that all, Rob?
Yeah, I just wanted to say it's really, really. I know you're going to agree that it's really nice to hear from Steve.
Yes, Steve, I'm so glad you're here. And thank you to Sing Along for coming. And also, I want to say one more time that I have really appreciated you all reaching out to me in this time where my father has passed away. I can't tell you how much that has meant to me. It's immeasurable, and I really want to say thank you because it's a difficult time. So, thank you all for your kindness, and
Yeah.
I guess we'll say we can't say goodnight, so we'll say good morning and good afternoon. Bye.
Bye, guys. Bye.